Can you recover outside of 12-step fellowships? Well, this question is actually pretty easy. The short answer is yes. The more medium answer is there was actually a leading study that showed just over half of those who recover do so outside of any kind of intervention. So they do so on their own. It's thought that some people might grow out of addiction. Some people are able to achieve goals in that way by just saying, I don't want to do this anymore and move on and do something else. And then the other half was sort of split up between addiction treatment, so like clinical routes. So, that might be in-person treatment, outpatient treatment, digital treatment. And then the other portion was mutual aid. And what I mean by mutual aid is, when you think about a 12-step meeting, right, is a group of peer-based people who share their experiences. Sometimes there's a program of recovery that they work through. And it's just through the sharing of experiences that people feel a sense of community and kind of common empathy, that it's really helpful to know that you're not on your own and that you have like a peer group of other people to lean on when you need to. It's also really accessible because it's free. So let's talk about non-12-step mutual aid options. So there's a range. And in fact, you don't even have to sit in a group in a circle. You could go to CrossFit for recovery. That's actually a mutual aid pathway of recovery. So there's something called the Phoenix, who use CrossFit for folks in recovery. There's the Recovery Gym in Portland. And there's various different places throughout the country that you can find where there's kind of an exercise-based peer group that will be in recovery. There are also kind of more formal ones like Smart Recovery, and they have workshops and you kind of graduate through their program, so you don't need to attend forever. There's Life Ring, there's Women for Sobriety, there's the Secular Organisation for Sobriety, I think, and a whole host of other different types of ones. So there could be Buddhist inspired ones like Refuge Recovery, and then the newer Recovery Dharma. Whatever you want to find, there is a community for you. So absolutely, the answer is yes, you can recover outside of 12-step recovery, and that recovery is just as valid as 12-step recovery. For me personally, I went to AA and NA for 5 years and grew out of it. I found that I wasn't getting the kind of structured support that I needed, and I actually needed to really work through some of the trauma in my life and really try and understand what was going on for me. So therapy became my pathway of recovery, and that has been incredibly helpful, and I've gained a lot of insight and a lot of healing, and I kind of think of it as physical therapy for my brain. So I still attend now, and I'm 8 years in recovery. No, 9 years in recovery. Gosh, it doesn't. It just goes very quickly. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's a really important point here actually, is to think about the evolution of recovery and to know that it's fluid. So what I mean by that is, what you need in early recovery might be, a meeting. It might be like a mutual aid group where you have that structure and you have that peer group to call on. But it changes over time. Your needs change in recovery. So like I say, structure at the beginning, but you might want more freedom and to drop in and out as you progress in your recovery. For me, it was more relational. I found that I really struggled to have a relationship with myself and my body and what was happening to me in dysregulation, but also relationship with others. And that's really been the key for me progressing in my journey. So yeah, you can recover outside of 12-step recovery.